Hello students, we were in module 5, joint probability distribution and sampling theory. Under that, in the last recording, we have seen what you mean by sampling, what you mean by sample size. If the sample size is less than or equal to 30, then it is said to be small sample, otherwise it is large sample. All those things we have seen under the last recording. Now today we are seeing the problems under students T distribution, or it is also called as students T test. Student is a scientist name. He has given this test. So that test is called as student T test. And remember that T test will be used for small samples. As you know in the previous recording, samples, there are two kinds of sample size. One is for less than 30, correct? If the samples is less than or equal to 30, then it is said to be small sample, otherwise it is large sample. So T distribution is used for small samples, that is for n less than or equal to 30. Now for student T distribution, the formula is T equal to x bar minus mu divided by S into root n. So remember this formula for T distribution, T equal to x bar minus mu by S into root n. Where what is x bar? X bar is nothing but 1 by n sigma I equal to 1 to n xi. And S square, that is standard deviation, is given by 1 by n minus 1 summation xi minus x bar the whole square. So remember this formula for student T distribution. Now, if the calculated value of T, suppose when you calculate this value, if the value of T is greater than the given value, okay, this T distribution at 5% level will be given in the problem. If it is not given, then you need to ask the table. Okay, that table will be provided for you, and in that you can find this value for 5% significance level, and depending upon the degree of freedom. So n will be given, n minus 1 will be the degree of freedom. So if the calculated value of T is greater than whatever answer you get, if the value, that answer is greater than the table value, then the difference between x bar and mu is said to be significant. Then what we can say? The difference is significant. At which level of significance? 5% level of significance. Okay. So already you have seen what you mean by test of significance level. In the last recording, I told you regarding a significance level. See, what do you mean by significance level? The probability level below which leads to rejection of the hypothesis. That is known as significance level, and the probability is fixed at 5% and 1%. So if the probability level lies below this, below which leads to rejection of the hypothesis, if the probability lies in this range, then we say it is, we can reject the hypothesis at 1% level of significance and 5% level of significance. If it is given 0.05, then it is 5%. If it is given 0.01, then it is 1% level of significance. Okay. And okay, let me continue now. So if the value is greater than that, then we say it is difference is significant. Or else we can say we can reject the hypothesis. Instead of saying significant, we can say also we can reject the hypothesis at 95% probability level. Okay, 95% we are confident that we can reject the hypothesis. If T is greater than this means what? The difference is significant at 1%, or in the sense we can say we can reject the hypothesis at 99% of level of significance. Okay, so let me make you clear. So for this, in the last page of the PDF, I have told you regarding one-tailed and two-tailed test. So in the syllabus, one-tailed test is not there for you. Only you are required to study two-tailed test. Now, two-tailed test means, see, in our test of acceptance or non-acceptance of hypothesis, we concentrated on the values of Z on both sides of the mean. The focus of attention lies in the two tails of the distribution, and then such test is called as two-tailed test. So I told you regarding normal distribution, bell-shaped curve, correct? So uh, if our test of acceptance or non-acceptance of hypothesis lies on both side of the mean, then we say it is two-tail. It is a tail, right? It is a two-tailed test. Otherwise, we'll say if we concentrate only one side, then we say it is one-tail test. Now, in this chapter, we are studying both the tail test, two-tail test. So the diagram only explains you. See, if the value lies in this region, that is outside the critical region, okay, outside the critical region, then we can reject the hypothesis. Or we can say we are 95%, if the value lies inside this, then we say we are 95% confident that we can accept the hypothesis. Okay, so if the value lies inside this, then we can say we are 95% confident that we can accept the hypothesis. If the value lies outside this range, then we can say we are rejecting the hypothesis at 5%. See, 2.5 plus 2.5, total 5% level of significance. Or we can say the difference is significant at 5% level of significance. Okay, so instead of saying we can reject the hypothesis, we can also say the difference is significant at 5% level of significance. Similarly here, if the critical value lies outside this range, then we can say we can reject the hypothesis at 99% of confidence level. Otherwise, if the value lies inside, then we can say we can accept the hypothesis at 99%. We are 99% confident that we can accept the hypothesis. If the value lies outside, then we can say we are rejecting the hypothesis at 1% level. Okay, or in the same way we can say the difference is significant. The difference is significant at 1% level of significance. So see, if the value lies inside the critical region, then we can accept the hypothesis and at 95% level of significance. And if the value lies outside this range, then we can say we can accept the hypothesis. If the value lies inside this, then we can say we can accept the hypothesis at 99% level of significance. So these are the things you should know before going to student T distribution. So write down that thing before student T distribution. Okay, now let me continue with the problems under T distribution. So first problem, a certain stimulus administered to each of 12 patients resulted in the following increases of blood pressure. Can it be calculated that stimulus will be, in general, be accompanied by increase in blood pressure? And here T distribution value is given for 11 degrees of freedom. So see here total 12 patients are there, but always T distribution will be given for less, 11 degrees of freedom. So what is the value of that? 2.201. Now let me start the problem. So let us assume that stimulus administered to all the 12 patients will increase the BP. So what we are assuming? We are assuming that stimulus will increase the BP. That is our hypothesis. Okay, this is our hypothesis. Now, what is the given thing they have given? Taking the population to be normal with mu equal to 0, because they have not given mean mu. So let me take mean mu equal to 0. And what about the standard deviation? Sigma we can calculate, right? Sigma we can calculate. And what about X bar? X bar also we can calculate. What is X bar? They have given the 12 patients blood pressure, increase in blood pressure. So add this, divide by 12. Add this sigma x divided by n. So that gives you 2.5833. Then how to calculate standard deviation sigma or S? Sigma is same as S. This is the formula 1 by n minus 1 summation xi minus x bar the whole square You can use this formula also, this formula. Anyone you can use. Okay, let me use this itself. It becomes easy. 1 by 11. Then xi minus x bar. What do you mean by xi minus x bar? Xi is this 5 minus x bar 2.5833 whole square. Then plus again 2 minus 2.5833 whole square. So like that you continue, add all those things, you will get 9.538. When you take the square root, you will get standard deviation. Now that thing you need to substitute in t value. T equal x bar minus mu by s into root n. So x bar is known to you. Mu we have taken it as 0. And s is we have taken 3.088. And root n, how many patients? 12 patients. So calculate, you will get 2.8979. So this value is greater than 2.201. Can you notice? So this value is greater than 2.201. So what we can conclude? We can, whenever, see, when t is greater than 0.05, what we can conclude? The difference is significant, correct? And 5%. 0.05 means 5% level of significance. Or we can say, we can reject the hypothesis. We can reject the hypothesis at 95% confidence level. Okay, we can reject the hypothesis at 95% confidence level. Or we can say, what we can say, the difference is significant at 5% level. There are two ways of saying this. So it is better you tell what, whenever t is greater than that, we can say the hypothesis is rejected. So what was the hypothesis? Hypothesis was, we have assumed that, this is our assumption, that is our hypothesis. The stimulus administered to all the 12 patients will increase the BP. So we got wrong, right? Rejection. We have to reject that. That means what? The stimulus does not increase the BP. So it is a very important problem, many times repeatedly asked in the question paper. You know, second question. A group of boys and girls were given an intelligent test. The mean score, standard deviation score, and numbers in each group are as follows. So they have given this. Is the difference between the mean of the two groups significant at 5% level of significance? So everything is given here. So x bar, there are two groups they have given. So x bar is 74, y bar is 70. Standard deviation for boys they have given 8, girls they have given 10. And how many boys are there? 12. How many girls? 10. Now here there are two samples are given, So whenever two samples are given, you need to apply t distribution, this formula, x bar difference. There is no point in putting minus, you can put difference, okay, x bar difference y bar divided by s into square root of 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. And how to calculate this here? This is the formula, s square equal to 1 by, whenever there are two samples, you need to write n1 plus n2 minus 2 to calculate standard deviation. Okay, whenever is one sample, what is s? 1 by n minus 1. Whenever there are two samples, not minus 1, it should be minus 2. From this minus and this minus. So n1 plus n2 minus 2. Summation, same thing. Xi minus x bar the whole square plus what you are having extra, summation yj minus y bar the whole square. There is one more formula also that I'll discuss in the next problem. Now let me start. First we'll calculate standard deviation. Everything is given. N1 is given, N2 is given, S1 is given, S2 is given. Correct? Substitute, you will get this as the answer. So what is our S? 9.402. How to calculate t distribution value? 74 minus 70 divided by this. So that gives you 0.994. So t value is 0.994. But what about t distribution value they have given for 20? Why it is 20? See, when you add 12 plus 10, it should be 22, right? So 22 minus 2 I should make. So it is 20 degrees of freedom. Whenever there are two samples will be given, you need to take the difference of 2. Whenever one sample is given, you need to take the difference of 1. We have seen whenever it is 12 patient, it is n minus 1. That is 11 degrees of freedom. So whenever two samples are given, you need to take the difference 2. That is n1 plus n2 minus 2. that is 20. Okay, so we'll get standard deviation S is equal to 9.402. So hence T distribution is less than that. So what we can say, so whenever the value is less than that, then we can accept the hypothesis. At what level? 95 percent of significance level. So we are confident that we can accept the hypothesis at 95% confidence level, or we can say in another word, there is no significant difference between 5% level of significance. Okay, so this is the thing. So just you say whenever it is less than, you say accept the hypothesis. If it is greater than, you say it is, we are rejecting the hypothesis. See, the means of two groups is accepted at 5% level of significance. Next, two types of batteries are tested for their length in life. So again, there are two samples and they have given all the things. You have to compute student T and test whether there is a significant difference in the two means. So see here S1 and S2 is given. In the previous problem, they have given S1 and S2, but they have given S1 and S2. So, but they have given S1 and so I have used this formula, right? Similarly, here also you need to use the second formula. This formula, use it, we will get S value T. See, I have given written here difference. Okay, why I have written here difference? X bar is 500, Y bar is 560. So always you take, whenever the difference is asked, you take the positive value. You can take the negative value also, no issues, because we are taking from the two tail, right? So two tail, you have seen the diagram, correct? Either due to the symmetry, you can see due to the symmetry, if it is plus or minus, both are in the rejection region, correct? So either you can take plus or you can take minus. It is it doesn't matter, but always take what? Always take whenever the difference is given, you take the positive value. So that means higher minus lower value. So that gives you 60, 12.1081. So it is greater than T value, correct? Greater than T value. This value of T is greater than the table value of T for how many degrees of freedom? See, 10 plus 10, 20. We need to deduct 2. So 20 minus 2 is 18. So 18 degrees of freedom at all level of significance. So what we can say? The null hypothesis that there is no significant difference. We have taken the hypothesis that there is no difference. So it is accepted or rejected. Since it is greater than, we can say the hypothesis is rejected. Okay. Next, a group of 10 boys fed on a diet A and another group of 8 boys fed on a different diet B for a period of 6 months. Recorded the following increase in weight. Diet A, diet B. Test whether diet A and B differ significantly regarding the effect on increase in weight. So let X corresponds to diet A, Y corresponds to diet B. So here the two diets are given. Calculate X bar, calculate Y bar. You know how to calculate X bar. Mean of this divided by so many values and divided by so many values. So we'll get X bar, Y bar. Now here standard deviation. You cannot use the second formula, right? So we need to use the first formula. So X minus X bar whole square, Y minus Y bar whole square. N1, N2 is given. So X is this 5 minus 6.4 whole square. Like that you calculate and then you will get 11.525. So what is the standard? This is S square. So what is S? 3.395. Then write T value. X bar difference Y bar. So 6.4 minus 5. Everything is known to you. Just substitute. And here you get less than. So what we can say? This value is given. Okay. T is 0.05 for 16 degrees of freedom is 2.1. If it is not given in the exam, you can refer using T distribution table. Hence, we conclude that the two diets do not differ significantly. Since it is less than, what we can say? We can accept the hypothesis or we can say the difference is not significant. Now, next, very important problem. Two horses A and B are tested according to the time in second to run a particular race with the following result. Test whether you can discriminate between the two horses. So let me take the first horse as X, second horse as Y, calculate X bar, Y bar, calculate the standard deviation, same manner, N1 plus N2 minus 2, we will get standard deviation. substitute in the formula, you will get 2.42, but T distribution value is given 2.2 for 11 degrees of freedom. Why 11? So 7 plus 6 is 13, 13 minus 2 is 11. So 11 degrees of freedom. So here you can see, for T for 5% level, they have given the value 2.2, correct? And for T 0.02, that is 2% level, they have given 2.7. So for 5% level, it is rejected. But for 2% level, since it is less than, we are accepting the difference. Thus, the discrimination between the two horses is significant at 5%, but not at 2% level of significance. Now, next, 11 students were given a test in statistics, very important problem. They were given a month's further tuition, and a second test of equally difficult was held at the end of it. Do the marks give evidence that the students have benefited by extra coaching? So boys, they have given how many boys? They have conducted a test on 11 boys. First test marks, second test marks. We compute the mean and standard deviation of the difference between the marks of the two tests. We need the difference. So let me calculate the difference now. What is the difference? Mean of D's. Summation D divided by N. Sum of the difference. So I'll do tables. Is there are 11 students. X1, X2 marks, X1 and X2. And what is the difference in the marks? This is the difference in the marks. What about D minus D bar? What is D bar? So D bar, you will get summation D is 11. When you add this, you will get summation D 11. So what is D bar? Summation D divided by N, 11 by 11, 1. So D bar value is 1. So 1 minus 1 gives you 0. Minus 1 gives you minus 2. So like that you calculate. Then D minus D bar whole square will be this. Then calculate summation D minus D bar whole square, which is equal to 50. Now calculate the standard deviation. So what is the formula for standard deviation? 1 by n minus 1 summation. It is not xi minus x bar. Why it is not xi minus x bar? We are interested in difference in the we are interested in the difference in the marks, correct? So difference in the marks we are interested. So calculate the difference in the marks. So what is standard deviation? 1 by n minus 1 summation D minus D bar whole square. So what we got from the table? D minus D bar 50. So 50 square. So you will get 5. So then what about the standard deviation? 2.24. So what is the T? T value is this 1.48, but it is less than that. So what we can say? Hence we conclude that we can accept the hypothesis, or we can say the students are not benefited by the extra coaching. The difference in the marks gives no evidence that the students have benefited the coaching. So this is our this is the one assignment question for you. Try this assignment question. I have given the hint also, and the answer also I have given. So please try this. Okay, thank you. So these are the problems under student distribution, and it is very important topic, and one question you will get for the SEM exam. Thank you.